a substance can be classified as element, compound, or a mixture. So first thing, you have to write the definition of a compound. So how we define a compound? Substance in which two or more elements chemically combine together. We call that as compound. Mixture can be separated by a physical process. A sequence of a physical processes can be used to separate a common salt, sodium chloride, from a mixture containing sand and common salt only. Give the order or correct scientific terms for a physical process used to separate the common salt. So we have a common salt and a sand, and we want to separate them from each other. So first thing, what we have to do, we have to make a solution. So to make a solution, we should add water, and the process, we just have to name the processes. So what is the first process? The first process will be dissolving. Like we'll add water. The second process, after dissolving, because we want to remove the sand from it. So if we want to remove the sand from it, what we will do? We will do filtration. And the third one, because we want to obtain a salt from a solution. So if you want to obtain a salt from solution, we can use evaporation or we can use crystallization. This is if you want to obtain or separate the sand from the salt. The boiling point of 4 different alcohols are given: 56, 78, 122 and 160. A student suggested that apparatus shown could be used to separate the mixture of alcohols. Apparatus X needs to have a cold water flow through it. Draw an arrow on the diagram to show where the cold water entered. So where the cold water should enter from the bottom, and it will leave, and it absorb energy from the vapors which condense and cool down. So hot water will leave the condenser. And name the apparatus. So what we call this apparatus, or name of this apparatus is known as condenser. The next part of a fractionating column is missing. This means that the experiment will not work. Draw on a diagram the part of the fractionating column which is missing and explain why the experiment will not work with the part of fractionating column which is missing. So which part is missing here? Actually, it should be closed from the top. The stopper is missing. The gas will escape, the vapors will escape. So the stopper with the thermometer is missing. So we have to just draw a stopper here, place a thermometer, and the purpose of this, why it will not work, because the gas or the vapors will escape. Suggest why a Bunsen burner is not used to heat the flask, because alcohols are flammable liquid, they can catch fire. That's why we are not using a Bunsen burner. We use normally electrical heater or water bath. A hot water bath cannot be used to separate C and D. Why hot water bath cannot be used? Because hot water bath, the maximum temperature, it is filled with water. So as it is filled with water, the maximum temperature of the water can rises to 100. But you can see the boiling point of C and D. The boiling point of C and D are above 100, so it cannot. So using a water bath, the temperature cannot rise above the boiling point, so we cannot vaporize them. You can use a chat to mention the answers as well. Fluorium Fl atomic number is 114, was first made in a lab in 1998. It's by a polonium atomic number 94 with an element Z. So we want 114 to the final. The nucleus of one atom of plutonium combined with one atom of Z to form a nucleus of one uh, Fl atomic number 114. So we have to identify element Z. So how we can identify this element Z? Because we want the total to be 114. So if we want total to be 114, plutonium is having 94. So means we will have to bombard with an element with atomic number 20. So which element is having atomic number 20? That is calcium. So the element is calcium here because the atomic number for calcium is 20. In which period it belongs to? So how you will work out the period? You have the periodic table. You just have to use the period with 114. When you check the periodic table, 114 atomic number is here. So which period it belongs to? When you check, this is period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So period 7 you will find this element. So that is in period 7. Predict the number of outer shell electron in an atom. So how you will predict? For prediction of the number of outer shell electron, you have to check the group number, which group it belongs to. So when you check the group, period means the number of the shell and the group represent the number of outer shell electrons. So when you again you have to use a periodic table. So when you check your periodic table, you will find this is prediction. So according to this prediction, it should have 4 electrons in the outermost shell as it belongs to group 4. Then two of the isotopes are there, which is 286 and 289. Both isotopes are unstable and emit energy when they split up. State the term used to describe isotope with unstable nuclei. So when element is unstable, the nucleus is unstable. What we call that? We call them as radioactive isotopes or radioisotopes or radioactive. Then complete the table to show the number of proton, neutron and electron. So how many proton, neutron and electrons are there? You can use a screen annotation for this. So these are the number of proton, neutron. Proton number actually that's given the atomic number is 114. So proton is 114. When you subtract the mass number with proton number, you will get the neutron number, and because it's an atom, so number of electron and proton should be same. relatively small number of atoms have been made in the lab and properties not yet been investigated. It is suggested it has a typical metallic property, so it suggests two physical properties. So typical metallic properties, metals, they have high melting point, high density, they conduct electricity. So conduct electricity and high density. Suggest one chemical property. So suggest one chemical property because it's a metal. Metal tend to lose electron, and when they tend to lose electron, so their oxide can neutralize. They form a basic oxide which can neutralize acid because it's a metal oxide. So or metal tend to they tend to lose electron. You can mention that as well. In question 3, this question is about iron. Uh, Three of the raw materials which are added to a blast furnace used to extract the iron from hematite are coke, hematite, and limestone. Name one other raw material added to a blast furnace. What else is added? The hot air which is blown from the bottom. A series of reactions occur in the blast furnace during the extraction of iron from hematite. Describe these reactions include one chemical equation for reduction of hematite and one chemical equation for formation of slag. And this is a 5 marks. So basically, you have to write in detail the extraction of the iron in the blast furnace. So what we do, we burn coke to form carbon dioxide, which increase the temperature of the furnace. And then you can write the equation for that. Then carbon dioxide further react with coke to give carbon monoxide, and carbon monoxide, which is a good reducing agent, it will remove oxygen from ore of the iron. So as it is a good reducing agent, we have to include then this iron oxide. Fe2O3 plus CO gives 2Fe plus 3UCO2. The equation must be balanced, so we put 3. This is balanced. And then due to heat, calcium carbonate decompose. So when calcium carbonate decompose, it will form a lime, which is calcium oxide. And this lime, which is a metal oxide or basic oxide, it will react with impurities such as sand, silicon oxide. So silicon oxide react with calcium oxide. It will form calcium silicate, CaSiO3, which is a slag. Calcium oxide is a basic oxide and silicon 4 oxide is an acidic oxide. Iron extracted from hematite using a blast furnace is impure. Identify the main impurity in this iron and explain how it is removed in steel making process. Now what is the main impurity? Now the main impurity is the carbon. Why? Because the unreacted carbon mixed with iron, so that's why it is carbon. And how we remove this carbon? So we add oxygen. This time it should be oxygen, and carbon react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. to form carbon dioxide, CO2. We are passing oxygen through iron or molten iron, which will form carbon dioxide and escape from the mixture. This question is about the masses, volume, and moles. Which term is defined by the following statement? The average mass of a naturally occurring atom of an element on a scale where carbon 12 atom has a mass exactly 12 unit. So when we compare the
Relative atomic mass.
yeah, that is relative atomic mass. This is the mass of an atom which is compared with the 12th part of carbon 12. Butane, which is C4H10, has a relative molecular mass, and potassium relative formula mass. Explain why the term molecular mass can be used for butane, but it cannot be used for potassium. What is the reason for
Because
that?
it's an ionic
Yeah,
compound.
it's an ionic compound and it is having a lattice. Because what happened, like when I say a compound potassium fluoride, but it does not mean that you have only one potassium and you have one fluoride ion. It means you have ions of potassium and fluorine, and the ratio between them within the structure is 1 is to 1. So that's why we are not saying a molecular mass, because the overall number of the atoms or number of ions present in the structure will be too much. So we are not taking for full. We are just taking a simplest ratio between. So when I take a ratio of potassium and fluorine, the ratio is 1 is to 1. That's why potassium fluoride formula is Kf. But when we talk about butane, actually one molecule of butane contains 4 carbon atoms and it contains 10 hydrogen atoms. So C4H10. So in short, you can mention, because C4H10 is covalent compound. So formula represent actual number of atoms in the structure, where potassium fluoride Kf is ionic compound which exists as giant lattice. So the formula represent simplest ratio between the atoms or ions present in the structure. When you check the marking scheme, in a marking scheme they write in short that C4H10 is covalent and Kf is ionic. Actually that is also an answer for this, but explanation why one is the actual called a molecular mass, but for other we call that as relative formula mass, because it's not for the total structure, it is only for the ratio, the simplest ratio between the atoms present in the structure. The next part, 0.095 gram of gaseous element. If something is a gaseous element, non-metal, it means it is a non-metal. And how non-metal exists? It means they exist as a diatomic, except for group 8. Group 8 can be gas and it can be monoatomic. 60 cm cube at room temperature determine the number of the moles in 60 cm cube. So which formula we'll use to get the moles? 0.095 gram of gaseous element occupies 60 cm cube. How many moles are there if it's a gas? So formula to get the moles, moles equal volume of gas in decimeter cube divided by 24. So volume of the gas in decimeter cube, it is in centimeter cube. So first I have to convert into decimeter cube, divide by 1000. So it will be 0.06 dm cube. So volume is 0.06 divided by 24. The answer is 0.0025. So we got the moles of this element. Then they're asking calculate relative molecular mass of element and suggest the identity. So relative molecular mass. So if it's a relative molecular mass, it means this element is a diatomic molecule. Otherwise, it will be a relative atomic mass. So formula which relate the moles and mass in gram or molecular mass. So moles equal mass in gram divided by molecular mass. So moles, as we worked out in the previous part, this was 0.0025 moles were there. So this will be 0.0025. Mass in gram is given in the question, which is 0.095. And molecular mass, relative molecular mass, we don't know. So molecular mass will be 0.0028 divided by, 0.095 divided by 0.0028, which is equal to 38. So molecular mass is 38. Now we have to check, because it's a molecular mass, means it's Y2, the mass of Y2. So we have to check which non-metal can have a molecular mass of 38. But in the periodic table, atomic masses are given. If I have fluorine, if what will be the atomic mass of fluorine is 9. But molecular mass of the fluorine, because fluorine exists as a gas, F2. So what will be the molecular mass? Atomic mass is 19. So what will be the molecular mass? It will be 19 multiplied by 2, which is equals to 38. So the molecular mass of fluorine is 38. So it matches with the answer. That's why we say this element is fluorine. If it was oxygen, then what should be the molecular mass when we work out? Because oxygen is O2. So 1 oxygen is 16 multiplied by 2, that is equals to 32. So if it was oxygen, then molecular mass should be 32, but it is 38, so which shows that this element is fluorine. So molecular mass was 38, and the mass of the identification of this element, that is fluorine, you have to write in words. The next part, 1.68 gram of phosphorus was burned to form 3.86 gram of oxide of phosphorus. What is empirical formula? So if this is a mass of phosphorus and this is a mass of phosphorus oxide, so what is the mass of oxygen? The mass of phosphorus is 1.68. Mass of phosphorus plus oxygen is 3.87. So what is the mass of oxygen when I take a difference 3.87 minus 1.68? That will be equal to 2.19. So 2.19 is the mass of oxygen. Now we have to follow this, the difference 3.87, the mass of oxygen and phosphorus minus the mass of phosphorus, will get the mass of oxygen. Now we have to find empirical formula. To find empirical formula, divide by atomic mass. So when you divide by atomic mass, phosphorus is 31. So you should divide by 31, and oxygen is 16. So you divide by 16. 1.68 divided by 31. What's the answer? 0.052. 0.0542. And oxygen 2.19 divided by 16. 0.137. Then we divide by the smallest value. The smallest value is 0.054. And this also 0.054. This will be 1. So phosphorus will be 1. What about oxygen? When 0.137 divided by 0.004, 0.054. 2.5. So whenever one of the ratios 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, what we will do, we'll multiply both of them by 2. So this will become 2 phosphorus and 5 oxygen. So P2O5 will be the empirical formula. Then after getting the empirical formula, which is P2O5, then they mention another oxide of phosphorus has empirical formula, and one molecule contains 4 carbon atoms. So if one molecule contains 4 carbon atoms, because the ratio in a molecule, the empirical formula is the ratio, empirical formula represents the simplest ratio between the atoms present in the structure. So it contains the ratio of oxygen to phosphorus is 2:3. If we have 4 phosphorus, then how many oxygen should be there? X, cross multiply. So X will be 4 multiplied by 3, 12, 12 divided by 2. That is equals to 6. So it means if the compound contains 4 oxygen, then it should have 6. If a compound contains 4 phosphorus atoms, then it should have 6 oxygen atoms, so that the ratio will remain 2:3. But they're asking mass of one molecule. So how to find the mass of this molecule? Phosphorus is 31 multiplied by 4 are there, so multiplied by 4, plus oxygen is 16 multiplied by 6. So what is the sum after multiplication, then add? What's the final answer? So 220 grams. 220 grams will be there for the mass of this phosphorus oxide. The table gives some chemical properties of transition elements and their compounds, and group 1 and their compounds. Ability to act as a catalyst and exist. What is meant by a term catalyst? Why 31 multiplied by 4 here, Hamza? Because you can see the molecular mass, the molecular formula of this compound is C4 and H6. So there are four phosphorus. One phosphorus is 31 multiplied by 4, and oxygen is 16 multiplied by 6. The number of the phosphorus atom are 4. That's why it is multiplied by 4. The definition of the catalyst is the substance which speed up the chemical reaction and without chemically change. So when the substance speed up the reaction without chemically change, we call that substance as a catalyst. Give one property, another chemical property by transition which is not shown by group 1. So chemical
Sir,
property.
I still didn't get it.
Which
We
one?
multiply 31 by 4, that's the whole molecular mass. Now how to get the mass in gram?
They're asking mass of 1 mole. So the formula is moles equal mass in gram.
Oh, 1 mole, okay.
Divided by molecular mass. Because the mole number was 1, that's why if mole is 1, the molecular mass is same as the mass in gram.
Oh, okay.
Is it clear? That's why I just calculated the molecular mass and I wrote same as mass in gram.
Okay. Thanks.
If you want any part you're not able to understand, you can use mic or you can use a chat to ask your doubts. It's important that you clear your doubts. Give one other chemical property shown by the transition element which is not shown by group 1. So transition element,
Different valencies.
yeah, variable valencies, variable charge or oxidation numbers are there for them. Give two physical properties by transition element which are not shown by group 1 element. Physical property.
Harder and high density.
So they are harder, high density. The energy level diagram shows the energy profile for zinc with hydrosulfuric acid. Which reaction is this? Exo or endo?
Exo.
The exothermic, because product is having low energy and the reactant is having high energy. Overall reaction will be exo.
Yeah.
Draw on a diagram by adding the formula of the product that I did. Include the state symbol. So most sulfates are soluble except
Higher.
barium, calcium, and lead, and water will be liquid. Draw an arrow to represent activation energy. You can use a screen annotation to show the activation energy.
Sir, hydrogen is liquid?
No, sorry, it was metal. Hydrogen gas will be there. I wrote H2O. I thought it was zinc oxide. So when you represent the arrow from reactant till the start of the reaction, that's called activation energy. And is the reaction exo or endo? The reaction is exothermic because the product is having low energy as compared to that of reactant. Here it will be zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. In the first I wrote water H2O, that's why I mentioned. But because it's a metal, so metal react with acid, gives salt and hydrogen gas. The reaction between zinc and dilute sulfuric acid can be catalyzed by addition of aqueous copper to sulfate. So what is the effect of the catalyst? What the catalyst will do, they lower the activation energy, means the reaction can occur at a lower activation energy. The student electrolyzed aqueous copper to sulfate using the apparatus as shown. So inert electrodes are there. What happened in inert electrode? The copper ions, sulfate ions are there, hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. Copper ions are less reactive, so they are attracted towards the cathode, and hydroxide ion will move instead of sulfate because they are heavy, they cannot move. So when hydroxide ion will move there, they will release oxygen. Oxygen gas is formed at a positive electrode or anode. Write an ionic equation at negative. Part D. In part D, what happened? What is the effect of catalyst? Because what catalyst will do, like if this reaction was there, for this reaction example, it need 100 joules of energy, example, to start up the reaction. But if I use a catalyst, what the catalyst will do, they lower the activation energy, so the same reaction required a small amount of energy to start up. That is the advantage of using a catalyst. So the same reaction can occur at a lower activation energy. So ionic equation, copper ions which are aqueous, you have to mention the state symbol, take electron and change to copper atom which is solid. Describe what the student observed at a negative electrode. Negative electrode, what happened to the size because the copper ion changes to copper atom. So a solid is formed or size will increase for the negative. Normally the term precipitate is used when you have a solution without any solid. So you can mention, but normally when mixing a two solutions and a suddenly solid is formed, that solid is specially known as precipitate. Give two other observation when the student make this electrolysis. So there will be bubbles will be seen, and because the amount of copper ion in the solution decreases, as the amount of copper ion in the solution decreases, the solution will get lighter. It will become colorless or paler, and you'll see bubbles because there is oxygen. what would be the what difference would the student observe at a positive electrode if aqueous copper 2 sulfate replaced by copper 2 chloride? So if copper 2 chloride is there, instead of oxygen there will be a chlorine gas. So chlorine is yellowish green or light yellow or pale yellowish green gas given off. Fluorine is pale yellow, chlorine is yellowish green, bromine is red brown, and iodine is black or purple. Yeah, because the solution contained chloride ion. As the solution contained chloride ion, so chloride ion will move towards the anode, the positive terminal. That's why we'll see this gas at anode. Instead of colorless gas, if it was a copper sulfate, then oxygen, which is a colorless. The table shows a structure of 4 hydrocarbons. Why are compound PQR are called hydrocarbon? So why we call them a hydrocarbon? Because they contain carbon and hydrogen only. Compound P is saturated. What is the meaning of saturated hydrocarbon? It means there is a carbon-carbon single bond. And this contains carbon and hydrogen only. Compound P undergo a substitution reaction. State what is meant by substitution reaction. When atom or group of atom replaces the other atom or group, we call that as substitution. One atom or group is replaced by the other one. State the conditions for substitution. So what we need ultraviolet light. Write a chemical equation for P. Compound P is
Sir,
yes.
Can we write high temperature instead of ultraviolet light?
At high temperature is a second thing which should be there to speed up a reaction. Even you have a high temperature, but in the absence of UV, this reaction will not occur. So UV is essential condition. Yes.
Will the answer be correct because it's of 1 mark?
If it is of 1 mark, then answer will be wrong. Consider as wrong. If it's of 2 marks and they mention state 2 conditions, then UV and the high temperature.
Okay.
If it's a 1 mark, then UV is there. At high temperature, even you write, you will not score or get the mark. The first one, compound P is ethane, C2H6. So substitution
No, sir.
reaction.
I mean, if
yes?
I only write high temperature.
No, that you will not get the mark for only high temperature. Okay. So C2H6 plus Cl2 gives C2H5Cl plus HCl, a substitution reaction. Compound R undergo addition reaction with bromine. Addition means like if we have only one product, we call that as addition. A compound containing bromine is formed. Draw the structure of, show all the bonds. So just you have to break the double bond here and write bromine with each of them. Less than a minute left, so I'll share another link with you and complete this discussion.